All right, hey folks, we're going to continue building Ravnica characters using the martial power system that we've been developing here online for the past year. Give me a moment. Here, I'll zoom in on this because we're going to be talking about color mana a little bit today, building a paladin using both powers and spells combined. So give me a second here to check my signal. I'll kick through my intro and then we'll get to work. So, mic check, mic check. Nope, that's not it. Let's try again. Where? Home. Here. And trying to do a mic check here. Mic check, mic check, mic check here. All right, sounds good. Great. I'm going to post on Twitter and Reddit and Discords and go through a quick little intro spiel here while I do it to distract you from the fact that I'm pressing buttons to announce I'm actively live right now. Hey, my name's Phil Kearney. I create role-playing games. I illustrate them and I publish them online. I've been focusing my attention on Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition for the past 5 years, and there's a slew of links in the description down below to different books that I have here on screen right now that are all free previews that you can take a look at. They all have like mana tokens and editable lists of colors, color alignment of what colors each spell is devoted to. And the project that we've been working on here for the past 100 some odd episodes is kind of like the Book of Nine Swords from 3rd edition. It's a replacement. It's a substitute magic system called Powers for martial characters to use, much like they did in Book of the Nine Swords in 3rd edition. If you're not familiar with that, there was a mana supply, and there was a slew of different type of disciplines that had a ton of different powers that you can pick and choose from, like a menu list, just like a spellcaster could. And it made a very wuxia sort of magus, like sword magic sort of default paradigm for these characters. They were alternate character classes, not fighters, but like sword sages and war masters and crusaders instead of paladins. So they had their own flavor that you could pick and choose from if you wanted to. But what I've been doing here, and again, you can hold on. Let me straighten up my street here so you guys can see what it is that I'm talking about here. Let's see. Be there. Let me close this down here. What am I doing? I want to push these things down to here. All right, so I have you can check down below. I have a Discord channel here where I post things, and you can join the playtest for this. Big shout out to the Ravnica DM community for being in support of the work that I do in color mana in general. You can follow me on Twitter at Phil Kearney if you're still on the Twitter X platform. Best way to support the channel is to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon. And thank you so much for more people that have been interested in the Spelljammer project, the Eberron adventure, and this martial power system that we're creating. There are a slew of links worth noting here in the drop down. The full playlist is here for the martial power content. My Discord community link is here if you want to jump into the playtest after watching some of these videos and see if you want to be involved. We're building a West March campaign as a testing ground for the playtesting of the system at low levels. Let's see, and then early looks on my Patreon, and then of course Twitter there. And so we're going to be looking at the 5 color mana spell point variant rule bundle today. We're also going to be looking at let's first pull up this document. So you click on my Patreon here, it will take you to you don't have to be a Patreon subscriber, but you are most certainly welcome to do so if you want to support shenanigans like this in the future. But we come down here to the playtest content for martial powers. YouTube here. Hi, that's right here right now. Hey guys. And if you click on this martial powers link here, it will take you to a read-only document. It is read-only. If you request access to be able to edit it, I will assume that you mean that you want to be informed when this thing is live. So don't click on the button unless you want me to email you about stuff in the future. But otherwise, you can check out the document here, and you can join the Discord to be part of the playtest. But the full 99-page document it's read-only, so you can look but don't touch. And this is the first alpha draft of it. Once we have the finalized language and everything is complete, we'll have it as part of our color mana bundle. We're going to be revising all of this for the new 2024 rules once those start being... Hold on real quick. I have a frame issue over here. Cool, resolved. We're going to, let's see, drop down into the revised color mana spell point list. It's pay what you want, so you can pick it up, or you can, chip in a couple bucks if you want to support this work. But this is the full player's handbook list of all the spells that are in the book, broken down by color: white, blue, black, red, green. Today, we're going to build a Boros. So again, you can just follow along in the document here. It takes you to here. If you scroll down, here is our power progression table. You're using half casting progression. We're going to work with a Boros Paladin today. We're starting at 3rd level, so you'll have 6 mana per long rest. So we're going to drop down here to the Paladin, and we've got our list of powers here. Hold on, let me make sure I've got my shit lined up properly. The outer limit, there you go. Good. Yeah, here's a list of powers for us to be able to pick and choose from once we start building. And here is our character format. So we're playing a Boros Paladin. We had previously converted the different, all the 10 guilds of Ravnica into alternate, they come with spell lists. But what we get here is, we scroll down here to the list of backgrounds. Instead of getting spells, we offer a list of powers that you gain whenever you acquire a new rank of power. So at 3rd level, we'll still only have 1st rank powers, so that makes it easy. But we have a specific, so we can decide between the 2 spells that our paladin would normally get and the 2 spells that, did I pass it? Green up, green down. Yeah, I did. So the paladin would normally get 2 default spells, and martial characters that don't get spells would then instead get powers. So a paladin can pick between the powers and the spells that are available. So they have 4 to choose from. They can mix and match as they please. So we're going to look at the spell. We're going to pick a oath for the paladin, and we're going to. I'm trying to find the. Come on, buddy, get up here. Here we go, Boros. So they have the Firebolt and Sacred Flame cantrips, and the 1st rank powers that they get at 1st level is Radiant Strike and Dire Impact. But we may want to, like, for example, I was looking at, I'm thinking either Oath of Glory or Oath of Ancients or Oath of Vengeance. And we don't use the Ensnaring Strikes or the Smite spells. We replace those with the strike system that we have in the Martial Powers book. So we lose one there. Boros doesn't need Speak with Animals, so that'd be an awesome pick for Selesnya. So I'm going to drop out of Ancients and let's go down to Vengeance and see what's up. Because if we go Glory, we could float between white and red. If we go Vengeance, that's going to be red. Red is passion, strong emotions, vengeance included, as well as acting, adrenaline, energy, power. Yeah, so they're on the bounce. Hunter's Mark, Bane. You know what? Nah, I don't think I'm feeling that. I think my first instinct on Glory is the right one. So we're just gonna go ahead and pin that in here. Let's go to our bottom list here where we're modifying the character. And again, this is on page 90 of 99. You can read along with me if you want, if you dive into the document. Boros Paladin. We're gonna go with a Minotaur because Minotaurs are cool as shit. Interestingly enough, Minotaurs have their horns, right? We've smoothed out the system, so any melee weapon, natural weapon, weapon that you've grown, anything that you're proficient with, you can use with martial powers fluidly without having to worry about what type, specifically necessarily what type of weapon it is. Things of finesse and stuff like that are still important to know as far as like different feat conditions and stuff, or subclass features or class features you can use. But there's no difference between a melee weapon that you would hold or one that you're created with or melded to or grown. So we're gonna go with Glory, and Minotaurs are big energy in the Boros Legion, so that feels really cool. I already statted out. We're gonna go so with the martial powers, the powers and the magic combine, and the default here. Well, let's go take a look at it. The there we go. Paladin channeling, mana casting variant spell casting with power. Starting at first level, instead of preparing spells, you can choose to learn a spell instead of a martial power. Paladins gain the bonus spells from your oath in addition to any powers or spells you've learned. Note, using strike powers replaces the divine smite feature in all smite spells. So when using paladins with martial powers, remove the smite spells from the paladin spell list. The number of martial points spent to cast a spell is equal to the level of the spell cast. So first level spell, 1 point. That's you only have first level spells at third level, so there you go. Maintaining concentration on a spell follows the rules of sustaining power as detailed in the martial powers section below, except spells cannot be locked. So the way that concentration spells work is you tap your mana, so you're holding the mana open. It's not yet spent, but it's no longer in your mana pool. It's held in a channel, and you can channel up to a number of levels worth of concentration effects equal to the maximum level spell you can cast, or in the Paladin's case, they can both channel powers and cast spells, but they're both half-casting progression. So it's the same thing. Same with Rangers, same thing with Artificers, when they get access to powers. And we'll look at that when we build Zet next week. I'm really looking forward to that. It should be, I think that's going to be on Monday next week we'll do that. Should be. So, let's see. So you get the martial power. We begin accumulating power at first level. We're going to start with a power die of D6. We can spend up to 1 mana and learn first rank powers. We're going to know 2 powers in addition to what we get from our oath, in addition to what we get from our background. And at first level, we only have 2 points. By third level, we have 6 points. We're going to see what our spells are to determine how much mana we want to have as our default. Whenever you finish a short or a long rest, you can take your mana pool and decide what colors. If you're going to use a magic paradigm like color magic or elemental magic, you don't have to. It can just be discipline points or key points or like sorcery points. It's just universal spell points. But if you want to make the game have a magic system that more closely aligns with a type of magic paradigm that you want to use, such as the color mana system, then each point is assigned to or devoted to the color that's in your pool. Boros is a white-red mana only. It has those 2 colors. So I could devote all my mana to red, all my mana to white. I could have it all in red right now. When I finish a short or long rest, now I can make it all white. Short, long rest, 2 points in red, 4 points in white. And we have ways of getting extra mana that we can decide on the fly what color those are. So there's like temporary floating mana that you gain. So we'll be able to take a look at that in a minute too. But so the Paladin has 6 mana on a long rest and 4 powers to learn up to first rank. And when you're throwing a die, it's going to be a D6. So that's our basic start. So we already have that laid out here with scrolling down here to archetype features. Let's see, Boros 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 things that a Boros knows. Cantrip. So Boros gets cantrips. Boros gets 2 powers or spells, whichever ones we want, and then the Oath of Glory gets 2 spells. So let's take a look at what we can get as Boros. We get Firebolt and Sacred Flame. Fantastic. So we just get those for free. I mean, we're spellcasters anyway. So we get those because we're part of the Boros house, and we're a half-caster, so we can perform spellcasting. So that's how we get access to that. Even we can have as many spells, or we can mix and match spells and powers as we please. And we're going to go with Glory. So let's go down here to look at the powers known. Glory. There you go. So let's see, what do we get as powers? First, Radiant Strike and Dire Impact. Those are strong contenders. Hold on real quick. Let's go take a look at what those do. How do I spell these out? maneuver 1, etc. Okay, strike 1, sustain 1. Let's see. Okay, that's all we need from that. We can scroll up here and let's look at what Dire Impact does. Hold on. We passed it. Sustained powers, Dire Impact, first rank. Dire Impact. While sustaining this power, weapon attacks are magic, and you can add a bonus to your weapon damage roll equal to your max rank of power. You know what? At first level, that's not a lot because it's only a +1, but by the time you get to 17th level, it's a +5. So that eventually becomes useful. It's a sustained effect. Weapon attacks are magic, and you can add a bonus to your weapon damage rolls equal to your max power rank of power. Nah, we don't need that one. So we'll skip that. That one doesn't have much impact right now. Dire Impact. We can check it out later. Let's go look at what Boros brings to us. Card. Back to top. Let's see. Sources. No, let's just look up Boros. Boros Legion. Maybe there's a tasty spell in here we can pick up. Oh, good. Barhelian. Let's see. Military magic. Oh, here we go. Skills and proficiencies. Athletics, intimidation. Love it. Dice. Languages. Languages. Choose one. Celestial, Draconic, Goblin, or Minotaur. Well, I know Minotaur already. Because I'm a Minotaur. Celestial. Cool. Boros spells. There we go. Guiding. Ooh, fuck. Guiding Bolt's a good one. That's as good hammer power there. Holy crap. Heroism. Let's check out heroism. Not to be biased, right? So let's check out what heroism has to offer to us. Thank you. A willing creature you touch is imbued with bravery until the spell ends. Which is for however long I can maintain concentration. It doesn't have just a 1 minute duration, but I get dinged with saving throws. Every time I have to make a saving throw, it could spoil my concentration. But the reward to being able to do so means that it can last all day if I never lose my concentration. Until I begin a long rest, in which case it automatically gets dropped. Let's see, I'm immune to being frightened. Gain temporary hit points equal to my spellcasting ability modifier, which can be, it could be charisma, it could be strength, it could be constitution. So I'm going to go with strength because that's my top stat, and it curves into my weapons. So all the abilities in here that are charisma or wisdom required off of the paladin, we've consolidated into a single ability score, which will be your channeling ability score. Just like a caster only has one ability score they have to worry about for all their casting features, we want to have only one stat for a character to have to worry about for all their channeling and spellcasting features inside the class as well. So, but it doesn't necessarily have to be charisma because that splits you between weapons and spells, and that is taxing martial characters unnecessarily because they have less options, flexibility, and power in spell power than other casters do. So that's why we want to consolidate it all into a single ability score, and having a selection of different ability scores allows you to fulfill the type of fantasy that you want for how your character expresses their power and how they can cast. So let's see, gain temporary hit points equal to your spell so it'd be a +3 from us because of strength at 16. I think a Minotaur gets a +2, so it'll end up being an 18. That's a +4. That's freaking awesome. When the spell ends, the target loses any remaining temporary hit points from this spell. When the spell ends, the target loses any remaining. Okay, and higher levels, I can affect more people. Okay, so heroism's kind of trash. Frightened, not being frightened is kind of cool, but we can let that one go. Okay, so a flash, yes, and then radiant guiding bolt is just the goat. So, goat. Radiant strike. Spell 1. Or not radiant strike. It's guiding bolt. Dirt. There we go. Let's see, guiding bolt, and then let's go to our spell list and check out guiding bolt. It should be white energy. Guiding bolt, white mana. So no matter what, we're going to want to have. I'm either going to have to. Okay, so spell 1, white. If Guiding Bolt is white, then I'm probably going to want Radiant Strike to be white, which sounds intuitive, right? So let's go up here and let's lean heavy into white. So let's make white be our maneuver. No, we can make maneuvers red. Let's make maneuvers, because we get free maneuvers. If we spend our attack action, we can then use our attack and bonus action lets us trigger a first rank maneuver for 0 cost, like as though it were a cantrip. It becomes unlimited, but it eats our action economy to do so. Exploits. Yeah, and maneuvers, yeah, we want maneuvers down here, and then we want strikes and reactions. Sustained are both. You know what? Let's do, my gut's telling me that I'm going to want to have exploits. And I'm going to have exploits to use. So I'm probably going to remain just single color until probably like 5th or 6th level. At that point, I'll have a large enough mana base and enough options for me. Like at 5th level, when I get 2 attacks, I can forgo one of my attacks to get a free point of mana on a strike. So I can effectively have unlimited strikes for free at low mana cost to be able to spike my damage all the time. So that's going to be free. And since I'm a paladin, I get an extra die. So at 5th level, I get 2 attacks. If I hit on my first attack, I can forgo my second attack to get a free die of damage, which is then going to be at 5th level, it'll still be a d6. So it's 1d6, and then I get the free d6 because I'm a paladin. And then if I wanted to put a second point into it, it becomes 3d6. And don't worry, at 9th level, it becomes a d8. And then at 17th level, it becomes a d10. But if you wanted to multi-class into monk or battle master fighter, it becomes a d8, d10, d12. So there's a lot of dip potential between classes, but you can freely multi-class and not lose any ranks of power. It's just a lot of stuff calculates off of how many ranks do you gain as a class. It's like a first level fighter, first level rogue, first level paladin has access to all the tricks and stuff that they can do. Their 3rd level, they'll still only have 4 powers. Their mana will accumulate together, but that'd be 2 points. That'd be 1 point, 1 point, 1 point. All on a, well, the rogue and the fighter would be 1 point each, but they refresh on a short rest, and the paladin at 1st level would give you 2 points. That's on a long rest, so you'd have 6 mana. 3rd level, you'd have 1. You'd have 3 mana, 2 you regain on a short rest. So there you go. That's how that works. But otherwise, it just I could be showing you instead of telling you. Here you go. So 1 mana, a paladin. That's right. A paladin has 2 mana at 1st level, and then a fighter and a rogue have 1 mana that they regain on a short rest. So you'd have 4 mana. You get 2 back on a short rest when you're a 3rd level. When you'd be a 3rd level multi-class character like that, you get the perks of the fighter and the rogue and the paladin being 1st level each. But if you were to take, say, 2 more levels in paladin, you wouldn't have second level powers, you'd only be able to learn first rank powers because you haven't gotten to 5th level yet. But as a combined multi-class with rogue, fighter, and 3 from paladin, that is 5. So that would allow you to channel 2 mana, but you'd only be able to prepare first rank powers. So there you go. I mean, it works pretty much like you'd expect, except that you're all the martial classes and half casting classes have 1-for-1 advancement in the channeling system. So Bob's your uncle. Let's see. So I think it's going to be exploits and strikes as white, because that if we're going to do guiding bolt with white, then we should put our strikes in white as well. So that way we're doing extra damage, we're doing sniper damage when we're firing off bolts and combining that with weapon attacks. And then exploits are things that, if you've been around the channel for a while, you know that exploits basically like modify ability checks and movement and different options there. So like during downtime activity, you can be spending mana to gain bonuses on ability, like inquisitive, add an extra die to insight, investigation, or an ability check that could use insight, investigation, or perception rolls. You can add a power die per mana spent, and then keep the highest die result. So these are useful to have when you're not in combat, or to have like during, like when you're exploring a room or you're having a conversation with somebody, having access to bonuses, using your mana during skill checks to help engage and improve your chances of having success and getting more information to progress the game. That's a style of play that I, as a DM, enjoy a lot. I love it when players want to throw dice. It's like, hey, I want to do something like with investigation or something. It's like, okay, great, yeah, you can do that. Let's use this ability score. And I already know what I'm going to tell them if they fail the die roll, but if they get a really good roll, I'll give them something extra. I've talked about that a lot in the past, and I think that's a really good way for a DM to lead the character, because they know because of a high die roll, a high result, they're getting information that the player knows that they weren't gleaning. This is them asking the question, and then me as a DM giving the player the baseline information that I think is necessary for them to advance the plot line. But if they're willing to put rolls behind it, especially if they're willing to dump mana into that roll, that tells me this is important to them. And then if they roll well, I can give them additional information. That helps them. Like if I'm going to give them the next step as the default information, if they roll well, I can move further steps out. It's like, you know that these tracks are leading to the cemetery, but you remember seeing somebody talking about in the town earlier today that there was that somebody had been digging up graves. So you know that when you get to the graveyard, the tracks that you're following may be related to what's digging up. But if you roll really, really high, you may know that people have found, like one town over was saying that they found dead people just laying in the grass, and they had, I don't know, an emblem or something that was similar to what would be in this town here. So that they were wrapped in a flag from this town, maybe like that. So that's evidence that the team can start accumulating towards who they think might be whoever it is that they're chasing. This is an improv example, but that's just talking about stacking up distances. If you organize your adventure into steps and scenes and events that your character gets led through as they make decisions down that rail, it's like, we want to slow them down this path. Okay, there's going to be this thing, this thing, this thing, this thing. And every time you hit these different points, you'll have a different decision. You can slalom off into a different plot line. But as you move forward, there's natural progression. So as you're making these skill checks or ability checks that are advancing your character forward, the higher you get, you can show what different like slalom options are, or like where is this path eventually leading you to, stuff like that. So that so the players are getting more insight and understanding about the world around them through their user interface, which is your character, using the mana as a power source to get additional information that they may not otherwise get. If that makes sense. That's a style of DMing that I enjoy a lot, because players love to say, hey, can I throw a die? Can I make an ability check, or like use this skill to get additional information about something? It's like, of course. Everyone wants it. Like Grinding Gear Games Path of Exile 2 philosophy is, if everyone is attempting to do something a certain way, and the game doesn't necessarily facilitate doing it that way, maybe you should think about making your game do that thing and reward players when they do. That's what you call curving design into player use. So think about that. Anyway, so yeah, so I think we're going to be sitting here with strikes and exploits on white. We have our Boros abilities picked out. Let's go take a look at the Glory Paladin and see what kind of cool shit we get from here. We get redundant guiding bolts and wait, guiding bolt. Is that also from Boros? Oh, that's so sad. Oath of Glory is guiding bolt and heroism. Boros Guild is guiding bolt and heroism. Oh my god, you're such bitches. That's so mean. That's not nice at all, dude. Okay, heroism. I think that's a W also. It might be red. Hold on, let's see. Let's see. My current understanding of the magic system is that it should also be red. Nice, white and red. How about that? White and red. Oh, little fact that's worth noting. If it's a bonus spell or power that you gain, you can use it with either color. That's a detail I forgot. That's worth mentioning. Like Radiant Strike for anyone, or like Guiding Bolt for anyone else, like a cleric or whatever, it'd be white. But when it's on your bonus spell list, then you can use it for both white or red. You can choose either mana, so you always have that flex. Well, hey Heather, how you doing? Making games to what the players do versus strong. Yep. Yeah, exactly. If your hand, like if an interior design, like if the teams, if your tables, if your habit when you come home is to throw your keys onto the table to the right of the door, then putting like a bowl or some sort of receptacle for all that stuff where you're naturally flinging your crap to, that's where you should focus your attention on having stuff that helps protect or embellish what it is that you're naturally doing. Like you said, it's just good game design. So, Guiding Bolt, 1W. Hey, how you doing, Heather? It's good to see you. Glory is also either color, so all these things are white or red at will, which is fucking awesome. And cantrips don't require color because they're cantrips and they're so small that they are insignificant. So actually that just freed up our entire power budget to do as we please. So let's see. Oh yeah, Guiding Bolt. Dire Impact. So let's go with Dire Impact, which is sustained. A sustained power can, as long as you maintain and tap your mana, it stays active. But at this level, it's not very significant. 1WR. But we have 4 powers that are open. So let's go look at the mechanics for how Paladin has changed in 5th edition using our variants. First thing we're going to do is we're going to go down to the Paladin. Let's go with class features. So we know you get hit points, proficiency, all armor, all shields. So let's do that. All armor, shields, weapons, simple. Martial. What is our dex saving throws? Is wisdom and charisma. Tools, no. Saving throw. Choose 2. Athletics, insight, intimidation, medicine, persuasion, religion. Let's go with insights. I love insight. It's always such a random thing just to pick. Intimidation, insight. Normally useful in conversations when you're trying to analyze like the mood coming off of the person. It's more of a passive kind of like perception. It's like, do I notice something about X, Y, or Z? Like there's perception, investigation, and insight is like the triad of observing things in D&D 5e. And athletics is good. So, oh, goddamn it, I already have athletics. Come on, guys. I don't know, medicine or persuasion, or let's go with medicine. Nope. Yeah, medicine. We'll do that. He's a Minotaur character, so I think he has D6 on his horns, but I don't need to really worry about. Our archetype is Oath of Glory. So, what do you think using AI to track stuff for a GM, able to quickly reference all this? I'm not. I guess so. I mean, that you can just basically do a search function already in D&D Beyond or Roll20 or Foundry to get those answers. They'll probably add it in eventually, or they'll start using AI to try to have a more intelligent search solution when you're typing stuff in. It's tragically bad right now. So honestly, if it had a little mind rolling around trying to figure out what it is exactly you're talking about, it would probably actually improve the user experience. So I'm down with it. Sure, why not? Let's see. Features. Okay, we're going to grab class features. We're going to look at the modified class features, and then we're going to look at the Oath of Glory features. So let's see. Equipment. Let's get past that. Divine Sense. You smell evil. As an action, you can open your awareness to detect these things till the end of your next turn. You know the location of any celestials, fiends, or undead within 60 feet of you that is not behind total cover. You know the type, but not the identity. Within the same radius, you can also detect the presence of any place or object that has been consecrated or desecrated, as with the Hallow spell. Okay. And you can use this feature a number of times equal to 1 plus your charisma modifier. 1 plus your stat. So Divine Sense equals 4 per day for 1 mana to regain. Next, Lay on Hands equals touch target gains up to 5 HP per level, max 15. Third level equals max 15. You can use a feature, let's see, and alternatively 5 HP equals heal 1 disease. Cool. Heal all disease or all poison. Cool. Ooh, a fighting style. What kind of fighting style we want to take? Let's see. We're a bruiser, so let's see. When you're wielding a melee weapon in one hand and fuck that. Great weapon fighting. Yeah, we'll probably take that. You hit. You're wielding his two-handed sword. You can reroll the die. The weapon must have a two-handed or versatile property. So great weapon fighting. Text. None new. We already dealt with spellcasting. Divine Smite. Mouse. We're going to go with... where's format? Insert, delete, save format. No. I'm just trying to change the fucking font, dude. I'm not a fan. do a strike through, dude. It's a simple strike through. Replace with divine strike blow. Divine strike +1 power die when channeling a strike. Divine health. That's third. Nice. It's 2, 3. Divine health equals immune to disease. And oath. Glory. And that is all we have to... Oh, Channel Divinity. Right. 3. How often do I do it? Your oath allows you to channel divinity, energy, fuel, blah, blah. When you use channel divinity, you can choose which option to use. You must then finish a short or long rest. Each channel divinity provided by your oath. Right. Equals 1 per short or long rest. And then we have our oath powers. So we go down to glory. Skip the tenants, who cares? We already have the spells. Channel divinity. Let's see, peerless athlete. And inspiring smite. Inspiring Smite. Immediately after you deal damage to a creature with your Divine Smite feature, you can use your Channel Divinity as a bonus action and distribute temporary hit points to creatures of your choice within 30 feet of you, which can include you. The total number of temporary hit points equals 2d8 plus your class level. Jesus. Divided among the chosen creatures however you like. We'll change that. Inspiring Smite equals when using strike power. I guess I do have to go through these. There's some modifications that are necessary. I didn't think I'd have to touch any. I don't have to change this, but I feel inspired to do so. So when using strike power, temporary gain distribute a pool of temporary HP equals total power dice rolled plus level. And what does Peerless Athlete do? Yeah, it's really cool. LeFou, I'm afraid I've been thinking. Yeah, we're gonna have to leave it that way. Let's see, Peerless Athlete. There we go. As a bonus action, bonus. When using strike. When channeling a strike, can use bonus action to. Yeah, I know this is riveting content. Rolled. I do love doing it though. When channeling a strike, you can use bonus. Okay, good. And then Peerless Athlete bonus action To augment your athleticism for the next 10 minutes, you have advantage on strength and dexterity checks. You can carry, push, drag, and lift twice as much weight as normal, and the distance of your long and high jumps increased by 10 feet. Peerless Athlete equals sustained effect 1 mana. No, I don't want to do it that way. Get out of here, code. No one wants to read you. Yeah, bonus action. Yeah, we'll leave it be. Advantage, STR, athletics. Fearless Athlete equals unchanged. As written in the book. And what's the other thing we get? Oh, is that it? Well, screw you, Fizz. How are we looking? Oh yeah, now we have the modifications. So we have the channeling. Empower maneuvers. So beginning at first level, when you take the attack action, you can forgo any number of attacks to reduce the cost of channeling a maneuver as a bonus action by 1 mana for each attack sacrificed this way, to a minimum of 0. For example, if a 5th level paladin takes the attack action, you can choose to forgo both attacks, reducing the cost of a maneuver you channel as a bonus action by 2 mana. And then powers and class features that increase. Okay, so at first level you can reduce the mana cost of maneuver to 0. At 5th level, you can reduce the cost to 0 for a first rank power and then have an attack left over, or you can get rid of both of your attacks and reduce the cost of a second rank power maneuver to 0. That is infinite value for your characters if you're willing to eat up the action economy to do so, which is a freaking great deal. So let's see. We need to add that in. Empowered maneuvers. 1 attack plus bonus equals 2 mana. Let's see. Lay on hands. The empowering healing. You can convert Lay on hands into extra mana. Okay, so in this system, the paladin in 5e is the only class that gets smite other than, say, like the Pact of Blade Warlock. I think that's pretty much it. Granted, other classes can get access to smite spells, only that divine smite progression. But with the martial power system, all of these classes have the ability to do smites similar to how the paladin could. So that strips away a lot of the identity as to why you would want to play a paladin in the first place. So what we have here is, as every level that you gain as a paladin gives you an extra 5 points of healing, of lay on hands that you can perform. And I'm going to do a double check here real quick, just to make sure I know how quickly we get that back. So let's go back to the class features here real fast. And I think it's a long rest, right? Replenishes on a long rest. Yep. And then what are the optional class features? Some extra spells. And we get the fighting styles already. Harness Divine Power. You can expend a use of your channel divinity to fuel your spells. Harness Divine Power. That's right. Harness Divine Power equals you can expend a use of your channel divinity to fuel your spells. As a bonus action, you can touch your holy symbol, utter a prayer, and regain 1 expended spell slot, the level of which can be no higher than half your proficiency bonus, rounded up. The number of times you can use this feature is based on the level you've reached in the class. 3rd level once, 7th twice, 15th thrice. You regain all expended uses when you finish a long rest. So Harness Divine Power equals sacrifice channel divinity, gain 1 point of mana. Next. Divine Recovery. Okay, so what Divine Recovery does is, as a bonus action, you can spend hit points in your healing pool to regain spent mana. For every 5 hit points spent in your healing pool, you regain 1 point of mana. You can regain a number of points of mana this way each round up to your max channel limit gained as a paladin. Alternatively, as an action, a bonus action, you can do it for yourself. As an action, you can similarly restore spent mana for a willing creature that you touch. So when you strip away the identity of the paladin, that it's no longer the class that does the trumped up convert mana into damage smite ability. When all these classes can do it, the paladin now becomes more so than ever a healing battery. And now it is able to also, your mana pool is like hit points, that you only have so many of them before they're gone. And then you have to rest to get them back. This allows the paladin to now heal your mana pool. So as you spend points, the paladin can give them back to you. Give them back to himself as a bonus action, give them to somebody else as a standard action. It's at 3rd level, it's 15 hit points max pool. It converts into 3 points of mana that the paladin can give back to themselves or can give to other characters. So we can convert our channel divinity into mana, 1 point per usage per short rest. So we have 6 mana base, and then we have 1 point that we can get back on a short rest if we want to spend our channeling divinity that way. And we have Lay on Hands, which we have 3 points. So we have potentially 6 points plus 3 that we can regain, which is 9 points, plus 1 on a short rest. And if we're tempoing at 2 short rest, long rest, 2 short rest, long rest, 2 short rest, long rest, then you're going to end up with 11 points of mana over the course of the day. In comparison, a fighter has approximately, a fighter has 11 per day as well. So that actually balances out really nicely. I'm pretty proud of that. Empowered Healing, Divine Recovery, that's where it is. Divine Recover, Empowered. During your turn, you can burn 1 mana. Oh, that's right. Empowered Healing. Empowered Healing equals 1 mana equals 5 HP to healing pool. Divine Recovery, Empowered Healing, Paladin stuff, Channel. Harness Divine Power, that's what it's called. Equals sacrifice channel divinity. Gain 1 point of mana. And at 9th level, you can do it twice. And at oh, that's right. So let's see. Beginning at 5th level, when you take the attack action and hit with the first attack, you can... No, that's not it. Harness Divine Power, thank you. You can burn 2 mana to regain use. Oh, modifies channel harvest Divine Power at 3rd level. You can burn 2 mana to regain... Oh, that's it. It's 2 mana, not 1. Thank you. Gain 2 mana. See, Harness Divine Power, Sacrifice Channel Divinity, gain 2 points of mana. We have that already. 1 mana. Good. Where is it? Divine Recovery, Empowered Healing. Oh, that's what it was. 3. 1 point. Powered Healing. I'm checking my bases here. Where's my power? Channel Divinity. Empowered maneuver, empowered healing, 1 mana for a healing pool. You can burn 2 mana to regain use of. That's it. Harness divine power. Thank you. Harness divine power equals burn 2 mana. Regain use of channel divinity. There we go. There we go. Perfect. And that is all the features. Okay, cool. So that takes care of our features. We have our smiting features here. Proficiencies. We have our powers here listed out. We have our 4 prepared powers. Jesus. How are we doing on time? Almost an hour. We're doing great. Okay, cool. So let's select our powers. We have 4 powers that we can select. Let's see. Paladin, Boros stuff. We probably want some more smites, since we get high efficiency from smite. We get the Radiant Strike. So let's go look at what Radiant Strike does. It's just radiant damage. So it's pretty generic. Radiant Strike. Your weapon can deal force or radiant damage and add 1 power die per mana channel. And of course, you get the extra die that you get to deal with that. But what else fun stuff can we do? Shocking Strike is pretty great. But what might we want instead? Thundering Strike. I like Thundering Strike because it pushes people away. Sweeping Strike deals damage to more than 1 creature. Shocking Strike. That takes away opportunity attacks, which are one of the... there's reactions, and then there's opportunity attacks or a specific type of reaction, which is a combat focus, like I'm going to strike you, or I'm going to dodge, or I'm going to block, or I'm going to roll with the hit. Those are the type of opportunity attacks. There's a lot of them. Restraining Strike locks somebody down. Life-stealing Strike. Life-stealing Strike is decent Boros act. Let's do that. Life-stealing Strike. You can never go wrong with that. Let's see. Your weapon deals 1 power die per mana burn. In addition, you gain a number of temporary hit points equal to the result of the power dice rolled. Any temporary hit points that remain when you start a short or long rest are lost. So when I get the 5th level and I get that for free, I basically get, when I hit, I'll be able to roll a 2d6, and it'll put 2d6 temporary hit points on my character. Wow, that's tanky. That is super tanky. Wow. Wow, that is tanky. Let's see how that plays out. We might have to push that to 2nd. At 20th level, it's hard to tell. At 3rd or 5th level, we'll be able to tell better. But that's a really fucking great ability to have. Distracting Strike. Your weapon deals extra damage equal to 1 power die per mana burn, and the next attack roll against the character by an attacker other than you has advantage if the attack is made before the start of your next turn. Distracting Strike's not bad. Disarming Strike, Caustic Strike. Let's just leave that one like that, and let's pick up some maneuvers, because we get maneuvers. We can do first rank maneuvers for free. So let's see what cool maneuvers we can do that feel Borosy. Let's see. Bonus attack. Making a weapon attack with advantage. Brand of Axiom isn't so much Boros' style. It reveals illusions and stuff. Boros doesn't really care what you are. He just wants to kill you. Coordinated attack. You can empower a target ally within 30 feet to use their reaction to make an opportunity attack. Rolling 1 power die per mana channel, adding the highest result to the ally's attack against a target you and an ally and your ally can both see. That's not bad. Make an opportunity attack, rolling 1 power die per mana channel, adding the highest result to the ally's attack. God, coordinated attack is really good. Goad is really good. Jeez, let's go with Goad. How are we classifying maneuvers? Those are red. God, that's so appropriate. Looking. Yeah, maneuvers and reactions. There we go. Yeah, maneuvers should definitely be red because maneuvers are free. So that's fucking choice. Goad. And again, I'm choosing. I could have made maneuvers white as well. Sustained are both, and then you have 4 other disciplines. You have exploits, maneuvers, reactions, and strikes. And so you get to choose between those 4 which 2 are white and which 2 are red, because all the guilds in Ravnica have 2 colors, and in the 5 color combinations. Like Azorius we did last time was white and blue. Before that we did a Demir Rogue, which is blue and black. Now we're doing we're doing Boros, which is white and red. So, goad, maneuver, 1, R. But yeah, we went with red because we want to have, well, it doesn't really matter here. We have a lot of stuff we can do as white and red. But lifesteal is a white type ability in general in the MTG card set. So I'm just going to go with white. And goad is an emotional thing. You're causing someone to be blinded by fury to attack you. That is emotions are red, so that's actually curving out thematically very nicely. You could do this as an action or a bonus action. Target creature that you can see and that can see or hear you makes attacks against other creatures other than you with disadvantage until it can successfully hit you, or it succeeds a wisdom saving throw at the end of each of its turns. So that's really useful. 2 more, and then we're done for the day. And we'll be back next time. We'll do we're going to do Golgari next, which is black-green magic, which is going to be a ranger. I think we're going to do a ranger swarm keeper. That feels the best. We're also going to do a ranger for Selesnya, white-green, black-green versus white-green, rot and decay, and pestilence versus growth and vibrance. It's kind of cool. Black and green is also rebirth, but we don't have to give them the benefit of the doubt on that. We're going to go with a ranger for both of them, though, to see how they contrast each other. I think that's going to be a lot of fun. But we'll make that a Beastmaster. So that's going to be super sick. So we'll do Golgari. I think I have time tomorrow. I'll be able to do that. Golgari on Tuesday, tomorrow. And then we'll do Azet on, because we're skipping Gruul, because we won't have access to Gruul Clan until higher levels. But Gruul, so we'll skip Gruul for now. We'll come back and we'll do one. But we'll do Azet on Friday. And then, maybe I'll do Gruul on Friday just for the fuck of it. A Barbarian. There you go. And then we'll do Azet on Monday. And then Orzhov on Tuesday next week. And then Friday, Orzhov Rakdos. There you go. And then we'll finish up with Selesnya and Simic on the 22nd and 23rd. And then we'll have all 10 sets done. So fucking fat. Flatten, goad, rally, regenerate. Regeneration is pretty good. When you channel this maneuver, you can spend a number of hit dice up to your max rank to regain a number of hit points equal to the maximum result that can be rolled on the dice. That should be equal to the result. Equal to the result. You can spend a number of hit dice up to your max rank to regain a number of hit points equal to the result of the amount rolled. Kicker. As an exploit, you can spend 1 mana to end 1 disease or one of the following conditions: blinded, deafened, and poisoned. That's really good. You can channel this maneuver and you can spend on your own. Yeah, I like that. Let's go with regeneration, which is maneuver 1R. If we channel as a bonus action, it doesn't cost anything, but the kicker always costs extra. So it'd be 1 hit die that we'd be able to get back. Yeah, back in healing. When you channel this maneuver, you can spend. Right, so it's yourself only. Selfish, but useful. Regeneration, I'm still good with that one. Swift attunement, swift resuscitation, vanishes and on flavor. Let's go look at exploits. I think exploits is what? The other thing? Yeah, we're not going with any reactions until we're at least 5th level because that way we don't have to worry about splitting our mana pool so much. Exploits and strikes and maneuvers are free. You know what? Honestly, we can zero that out. Yep, we can go with monocolor on this one as well. White, red. Well, we could always do... We're treating maneuvers as free, but that's actually a pretty big cost to lose our maneuvers. Let's drop it to 2. Let's do 2-4. Yeah, that's a good split. Because we'll occasionally need to do maneuvers. We'll need our attack action and be able to perform a maneuver in the same round. So we can't always abandon our attacks to get a free point of mana for a maneuver. That's selfish. Exploits are... Yeah, let's go up in exploits. Let's see what cool shit we can pick up. Charge. When you take the move action, you can channel this power to prevent triggering opportunity attacks due to your movement. The first attack you make during this movement can roll 1 power die per mana channeled, adding the highest roll to the result of the attack roll. Charge is actually pretty good. Where do we go? Charge, yeah. That is exploit 1 W. There we go. Okay, so we can swap out any of these on a short rest. So after combat, we go back to base. We're going to go head out later on, but we have things like we have skills and stuff that we have to use as downtime stuff or whatever, like research or whatever. I can swap out any of these powers on a short rest, one of them, to something more utilitarian up in the exploits section. Or I can swap out the entire kit on a long rest. So these are temporarily here. These are permanently here. But these are temporarily here. These are just what I've prepared for the day. And that finishes our set. Whoo doggy. Yeah, this stuff's fun. So if you follow along that process and you want to try to beat my chops, you are welcome to offer me an alternate Boros Paladin of Glory. I would love to see what your own solution would be. And so I'm going to go ahead and cut stream now. And when we come back, it'll be tonight in about 5.5 hours, something like that. We're going to do some token painting, creature tokens for the Eberron adventure that we're creating. So we're going to continue with doing the line art for the black and white tokens that you can print on a laser printer. And we will then... Yeah, we'll do that for a couple hours. And then we'll be back tomorrow morning. We'll do some more Spelljammer art for the book that we have planned on publishing at the end of the month on DMsGuild.com. And we'll just keep tearing this stuff up until we're done. So thanks a lot, Heather. Thanks a lot for hanging out. Anyone else that catches us in the cyberpunk future, thanks for being there. Like, subscribe, bell icon. Check out all my different videos about Spelljammer and all the other projects I do live streams for. Love to hear from you, so check out my Discord down below if you're interested. I will see you on the other side. Thanks a lot, folks.